All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody had a good weekend and a good Monday. Um, Nothing for me yesterday. Didn't make a video lesson, and today, just really FLGC was my only one for today. Really just watching it because it's a multi-day breakout, my favorite pattern. Um, didn't play it as well as I would have liked, or as I should have. I did take my 10-11% on it, but I feel like I could have played it a little bit better, and just want to kind of dive into it and kind of show you guys how I traded it and what I did right and what I did wrong. So daily, it's a nice multi-day breakout, and really, it just starts in. Let me see. Is this the 1 year? Okay, so now that I'm just realizing this, it is all not an all-time high break. So that is, I mean, I would have held it. I would have played this a lot better if I kind of would have known that. I was busy at work, and so I'm just kind of getting on here and going over it. Just getting home, but I completely forgot that this was all-time highs, zero overhead resistance, and that is absolutely ideal. So yeah, no, I totally effed this one up big time. Yeah, I took my 10%, but so what? And that just proves that just because you make a winning trade and you win on a trade doesn't mean it's a good trade. Um, I can't believe I didn't know that this was all time highs. I just looked at it and knew it was a breakout for sure. Um, wow. Okay, so that's annoying that I didn't know that. Um, let's just dive into how I played it. So yeah, multi-day breakout, all-time highs. It is not a low market cap. That doesn't matter. Trading solid volume and let it do its thing here in the morning. Never touched it and was waiting for just the breakout to confirm. Um, and I wasn't necessarily waiting for a high of day break, which I easily could have played it that way. I bought, and you're gonna make fun of me here too because I only bought 5 shares. I'm trading with such small size; it's ridiculous because I'm not worried about money whatsoever. If you're new to this channel, I've been trading OTCs the past couple years, and I haven't found any consistency. And I finally switched over to just trading strictly listed, and so they trade. I mean, definitely trade differently for sure. So it's just me kind of trying to evolve and switch back over to learning the listed stocks and how these setups play out. So it's it's just for me. It's there's no reason to trade with big size. You know, um, that's when I make mistakes when I'm learning, and sometimes I get greedy, and sometimes I do take size or a little bit too big of size, and maybe it won't be a good play, and I'll take a bigger loss, and it'll be dumb, and I'll just be hard on myself. Um, I've learned it's just best to just trade super small size to where the money doesn't even matter. Win, lose, it doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt you or get you emotional whatsoever. It's just trying to figure out what patterns work for you, and then trying to play those patterns to the best of your abilities. So that's my whole focus is just trying to play these to the best of my ability. And then when I feel comfortable and confident, I will start putting on some size. And then I know that I will be so confident and comfortable that I'm going to grow my account really fast. Um, so I'm really excited for that, but it's just one day at a time. I'm not worried about it right now. Right now, I'm just trying to really just dial these in. So multi-day breakout, didn't touch it up here. Um, Probably could have. like I probably would have taken a starter. I wasn't really watching it here in the morning. Um, I kind of just let it do its thing. And I wouldn't say it wouldn't be a too bad of an entry here. It is holding. You would have just cut your loss. And this is just one of those ones where, it was too early in the day. The volume wasn't there, and you just had to cut your loss. Maybe you take a small loss here. No big deal. But when you notice that this is holding up and coming back, and that's what I noticed. Had a little volume perk, but still not the ideal volume that I'm looking for. Um, and so when I was looking at this bigger picture, I saw it. So when I'm looking at, the breakout level, as you obviously can see, it looks like 1022 would be the breakout level. Yeah, I mean, 1024-ish actually. $10 is that whole dollar, a whole number, that psychological number that everybody kind of is attracted to. People, it's better to kind of go off just that round number of that whole dollar of 10 than to play it off exactly 1024. So $10 was really the breakout level for me there. And I'm not risking off pre-market either, so I'm not kind of going off of 11. It's really just $10. $10 is that whole number that I'm going off of as the breakout level. So I saw it perk back up above the breakout, and then we started to get a little dip, and we were holding 10, and it was right in here. So right in here, we had the little perk back above VWAP and through the breakout level. We tested the low 10s, and then we were getting a little pullback, and we were kind of holding 10 here. And so this is where I was taking just my starter, and I was risking off of 920. So ideally, that is not a good risk reward. I don't want to be risking 8%. So not the best entry. It did have that dip back down to 960s. I think the entry was in here. So you could have taken some low 10s when volume starts to pick up, and we're making that higher low. So maybe you can go from low 10s, maybe even a starter here at 10 when it's perking through. And then you could add on the dip here in the low 10s. And then you get a perk up into a past high of day. Maybe you get another little position there of the high of day break. And maybe sell a piece up here into the low 11s. And then you can add back in when it consolidates and proves that it's holding. And then sell into this perk. Really, sell up here and into the 12s, 13s, 14, or high 13s. It almost tapped 14, but then look, it gets the dip, holds, and then just squeezes back up into the high 14s. So I'm upset with buying it where I did, and basically it's just because I had such small size. I can just be like, okay, I'm gonna take this size. It's dipping. It's holding the breakout level. I'm going to risk off of 920 because if it gets down to 920 and cracks 920, I believe that the overall chart will be bearish, and it's not going to come back and break out. I'm thinking that the breakout's going to be failed. It's just a failed breakout, and we're just going to fade. But so I'm upset with my initial buy. I think it would have been better to wait since volume was not there, and I thought that too. I thought volume's not really there, but it's such small size. Like I could just take my 5 shares here when it's just dipping at the breakout level, risk 920. It's nothing if I lose. Like it's whatever. And I wanted to give that little bit of more wiggle room just because I had such small size, and it is a breakout, so I do want to give it a chance to really work, and So we got the dip, held 960s, held VWAP really, and then perked back through the breakout level. So when it was holding VWAP, and you get that little perk in volume, and it perks up through the breakout level, that's a starter right there. That's where I should have got my starter. And it's easy to say that in hindsight. I was working, so it's not like I can sit there on my phone and just watch it the whole time. Um, so it's like it's kind of like pick your poison, you know. Like you could take your starter, and when I had alerts for when it was perking back up through 1030s and the high of day at 1060, and it kind of happened so quick that I got my alerts both at the same time, and all of a sudden I went and opened my phone and it was at 11. You know, so it was like, well, how am I really going to get those ads or those ideal positions? You know, if my alerts come in a little bit late, if my service isn't very great here and there, you know, when I'm going off to different places, and you know, when I'm working, my hands are wet, and so it's difficult to get onto my phone real quick and just throw up Thinkorswim and check to see what the chart's doing. There's a lot, you know, that's going on and that's involved. So, you know, it's easy for me to look back and be like, wow, yeah, it was a shitty entry, and wow, yeah, I sold too soon. I should have bought it here and should have sold here and should have added, you know. And it's easy to say that in hindsight, but I'm really just trying to figure out how am I going to play this the best way. So I think if I would have maybe set an alert here, you know, I would have got the alert. Ideally, I maybe able to get some on this dip. Maybe I can add into the high of day break, and get some more right here, and then sell into this push. I think that would have been the more ideal way to play it. I think I was a little too early here. Volume wasn't there yet, and I think it was just need to be a little bit more patient for this move. You know, it was just a little early, but that's about it. You know. It was a beautiful breakout play, all-time highs. I wish I would have known it was all-time highs. I'm pretty upset that I didn't know it was all-time highs when I was buying. So that's dumb on my part. I probably would have held it a little bit longer, knowing that. So just make sure you're aware before you take a trade. You know, is there news? What's the float? What's the market cap? You know, knowing the long-term chart history. Just every little thing that you can think of, you know, is there any warrants or dilution? Check the filings, all that good stuff. I know I don't check the filings ever, to be honest with you. I really just check the news, and I check to make sure that it's a low float, low market cap. Check the long-term chart, always macro, then dive into the micro on the chart. Then create a plan, get risk levels, entry levels, sell targets, the whole bit. So just make sure you have it all kind of mapped out in your head, and you have a plan, and you know, and you're checking off all those boxes before you're taking a position. So yes, I did forget that this was all-time high, which is dumb of me, but I did know. I checked the news. I knew what the float was, the market cap. I knew it was a multi-day breakout, and I had a certain idea of how I wanted to play it. So always just make sure you have a plan and stick to that plan no matter what, and then learn from your mistakes and what you did right after the trade is done. You know, at the end of the day, when you're at home like I am, and I'm going over all these charts and how I played it and how it ended up, you know, and maybe how I should have played it, that's really where you're teaching yourself how to trade. So that was really it for me today. You know, I'm not gonna there's nothing really more to dive into. So like I said, multi-day breakout, or these multi-day breakouts are just awesome. They're my favorite. All-time highs. It did not have any news, but it is just a beautiful play. You know, it did have the volume. You know, it didn't have the volume in the morning, and that's why I think you stay away from it in the morning. You get into then you start getting into midday, get that little bit of fade. It comes back, volume comes in, and right here is where is in here is where you're wanting taking the position, maybe risking off VWAP. Yeah, it was just beautiful, and that's how I should have played it. It held VWAP. We get that perk through the breakout, get the dip. Should have been taking some in here, risking off this low here at 967. Should have got some more on the high of day break. Maybe even sold a little bit of piece here to just put a little bit in my pocket, And then when it holds 11 and holds that high of day really well, could have got another position in here and then sold into the push and then called it a day. And then just called it a day. If you want, you could have sold the majority, maybe have a quarter of your position hold, it's still in, to swing it a little bit to see if you get any kind of gap up or just crazy push. So then maybe you sell the rest right up into here, I don't know. But it's just knowing that it was all-time highs, multi-day breakout, you're getting good volume. In those scenarios, it's okay to be a little bit more patient with your winner. So that's really it for me. Those were my thoughts. That's how I played it. That's how I wish I would have played it. And so, yeah, I'm just going to really remember this one, make sure I take a screenshot of it, maybe even set it as my background on my phone, so I'm looking at it every day, and just making sure I play it the next multi-day breakout the best I can. So I'll be ready for the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it made sense, and I hope it helped you guys in some kind of way. So like and subscribe to the video and to the channel if you guys are enjoying these videos. Just going to be trying to get as many videos out as we can, try to help you guys out. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.